Hey everyone, welcome to our team call. I'm so excited that Ellen Ludwig, who is a Success Club rock star, and also basically as soon as she signed up, her name was at the top of the leaderboard for a huge entire downline. So when it comes to someone talking about getting started as a new coach with the bang, going all in, but having a lot of fun with it, I think she's the perfect person to talk about this. So I'm really excited to have Ellen on our call today. But we always have to start with some recognition because this team is growing like crazy and it's super fun to be able to announce this kind of stuff. As you know, each week I basically just say what everyone's done for the last week. So the names grow and grow and grow as we progress through the month, but this is our first team call the month of February. And let's get started with Success Club. By the third day of the month, we already have Sarah Brya, Kim Gillinoff, and myself at 4 Success Club points. Erin Cermak, Amy Worth, Allison Tominski, Kathy Benson, Bob Benson, which is Kathy again, Becca Wasso, Heather Chalupa, Elizabeth Van Eitzen, Amy Rule, and Kelly Webster at 2 points already. And then Beth Wyke, Ashley Dean, Sarah Sawicki, and Julie Zagman, who is like a brand new coach as of yesterday or today at 1 Success Club point already. So way to go on that, girls. And Guy, you have Bob in there. Okay. And our top 5 volume earners just for the last week. So this is just 1 week, last week in their business. Sarah Boldman rocked it with 645 PV. Melissa Wardy with 639. Heather Chalupa, 548. Kathy Benson, 469. And Haley Bowser with 420. And the last one we're going to talk about is recruiting. So these people have already signed up coaches again in the third day of the month. So Kathy Benson, Kim Gillinoff, and Stephanie Reynolds already have 2 coaches each, which is huge. And then Amy Rule, Allison Tominski, Amy Milliken, Jackie Pitts, Carrie Webb, myself, Kelly Webster, Kim Sink, Lindsay Quint, Liz Bazin, Mandy Sherrill, Michael Deering, Rachel Baldwin, Sarah Brya, and Tara Deering. We all have 1. So this is always awesome. Last month, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but it was like, people duking it out for that top spot. And our top 2 coaches signed 11 coaches each. And then it was like 10 and 8 for the top, 4 people. So I'm just really proud of how this team is growing, and we're obviously reaching people in the right way. So just keep it up, stay authentic, really focus on helping people, and these numbers will keep growing and growing, as will your income. So, okay, so we have Ellen ready to go. Be ready to take some notes. Like I said, when Ellen started, it was like all of a sudden like, whoa, who is this girl? Because she came like first month was on fire, basically teaching the rest of us about how we should be growing and changing our businesses. So here you go, girl. Thank you again.
Okay, thanks, Wendy. I did do one PowerPoint slide. So I can share my screen. Okay. Let me see. Can you guys see that? You got it? Okay. So I want to, Wendy, kind of thank you for all those kudos, gave a little background about myself, but I want to give you guys a little bit more for those of you who don't know me. So I started as a coach at the end of May in 2014. And I kind of have a non-traditional story of getting started in this. I actually found out about Beachbody I had done P90X yoga years and years ago, and that's all I knew about Beachbody. And I had found out about it through my sister, and she was doing T25, and she kind of mentioned something about Shakeology, and she mentioned something about having a coach. And it really intrigued me because I have always been into working out, eating healthy, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I wanted to do something with it, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how to get started. I had thought about personal training, but being a personal trainer meant having to leave my house, having to get clients. I mean, you guys get it. It seemed like a huge time commitment. And all that was involved with having to study and, all that. So when she said, oh, she's just a coach and she just posts on Facebook and she just has a Facebook page. And then she has these groups and she gives us these meal plans and she's like, and I love it. And I literally for me, I was sold when I heard that. And when I heard I didn't have to be a personal trainer, I didn't have to have a blog, etc. So I started with my upline, Mandy. I had started with Turbo Fire, which is kind of non-traditional as well. And I did a challenge group for 30 days. Absolutely loved it. It helped clean up my diet even more. And I loved posting in the group. And it was so much fun to me. And I had always gotten up and worked out really early, but then seeing the challenge groups and actually being able to have fun in the group and being able to tell somebody else about my workout rather than getting up in the morning and, my husband would be like, hey, yeah, you're sweet. Great job. You got up. But the groups, literally for me, it was the accountability group that was so much fun. And that's why I was like, I've got to be a coach. So I hadn't even been drinking Shakeology. So I did this all backwards. It was really random. I mean, when I started, then I got on Shakeology, clearly loved it right away. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go all in on this. I had so much fun in my first 30-day accountability group that I literally was so excited to share it with all of my friends. And it was kind of like a non-negotiable when I was talking to my friends. So I want to start out by saying mindset is everything, because that's what I thought. When I started this, I told myself, I'm not going to fail. I'm not going to give up. I am doing this. And it was something that I felt had kind of come into my life at the perfect time. My son was almost 3, and I was going to make this work. And that's how I am today too. I'm going to make this work no matter what. So that was the mindset that I was in. I was scared, of course, like everyone. I never posted on Facebook. I was super nervous about posting on Facebook, what my friends were going to think of me. But once I let those fears go after, like the first 2 weeks, and that was really just getting over the Facebook thing, I just, I didn't think about it. I didn't look back. So just having so much fun in that accountability group was really what gave me the drive to talk to every single one of my friends and tell them, you need to do this. Like, I had so much fun. We're all posting our workouts, sharing them with each other, sharing recipes. You've got to do this. So that's what I did with all of my friends. I got my friends involved. I started out just with the general accountability group because that is what helped me, especially because I was doing Turbo Fire. Turbo Fire was not a program that for everyone. So we just started out with a general group, and we had fun because I had a lot of my friends in there, and it was good time. So then kind of leads me to my next one is fake it till you make it. When we're starting out, nobody has a clue, we've been in groups, but you don't really know what you're doing. But honestly, when you just, act like act with confidence, people will get on board. So when you're first starting, don't let the fact that, oh my gosh, how are people going to trust me? Or they're not going to see me as, a reputable person to, give them health and fitness advice. You just go for it, and you act confident, and you bring all the stuff that you've learned so far to the table, and people will listen to you. So, next thing is make new friends. This is kind of big for me because I had a lot of friends, and honestly, when I first learned about this and I saw like all the Beachbody videos and people having fun, and I was like, and the trips and Summit in the quarterly events, I honestly was like, I don't need new friends. I'm good. I've got really good friends. It's just like I don't have time for more people in my life. But I was so wrong. Like now, the friends that I've made in this business are clearly like some of my best friends, and that really like hit home to me. Well, first, when I went to my first Super Saturday, I went with one of my coaches, actually a friend, but a girl in my neighborhood. And when we went to that event, we met other coaches. We just had the best bonding experience, just even driving in the car 3 hours together. And then when I went to Summit, I think I look at pictures now and I still get chills, and it literally is just so much fun. I mean, this to be surrounded by people that share the same passion as you is, I mean, it's pretty amazing. My close friends are not all into working out or, eating right. Sometimes I feel like I'm kind of like the fish out of water. So to be in this environment, we're so lucky. It's incredible. And going to Summit made me realize how there's just so many other, women that I didn't even know before, that we all share this passion that, I could have been friends with from college, high school, whatever. So that was pretty cool. It really, for those of you that went, I'm sure you guys can share that same experience. And then just going to the New Leader Conference with Meg and Sarah and Aaron. I mean, we had so much fun, and it's just like, these are like my new best friends. So anyways, I really encourage you to make friends with people on Wendy's team, outside of the team. Don't be afraid to reach out to other coaches and, try to garner those relationships and build them, because the more you ingrain yourself in this business and with everyone around you, the more fun it's going to be, and it's going to feel real to you. So highly suggest that. I already talked about attending events. So crucial. Again, I didn't think I had time. I thought, why would I go on a trip? I don't want to be away from my family, but I went to Cancun last year. It was amazing. Going on the cruise this year, Dominican Republic the next year. I did not travel before I started this. So, I mean, the fact that we can go on, Caribbean vacations every year is pretty amazing. So next thing is be present on your team calls. And I looked through this team call, and Wendy, it's awesome. You've got so many girls and maybe one man. I don't know if he's on, but on this team call, and that's awesome. I take calls very seriously. Most of who have been in groups with me, I'm usually on the call. I think they're really important. I think it's really important. Again, just it's ingraining yourself into this business. It's it might be your side job or it might be your career, whatever it is. You've got to be in it. And when you give 100% in it by attending the events and getting on the calls, it's going to be fun. If you're not doing those things and not meeting the people that you're working with and all of that, you're just going to kind of feel like an outsider, and it's not going to be fun. So next thing and lastly is fear is not in your vocabulary. Like I said at the beginning, I was a little nervous to post on Facebook, put myself out there. But once I just put those fears aside, and my husband talks about this a lot, and he's like, I think that you've been so successful because you're just not scared. You're not scared of anybody. You're not scared of anything. I definitely am scared of some things, but in this business, I have just decided, I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to send people messages. I'm going to invite them. I wholeheartedly believe in what we're doing, and we're giving people self-confidence and strong bodies and all that you guys know what we're doing. There's nothing to be scared of. So those are really my top tips. I kind of wanted to make this short and sweet, but just wanted to end it with believing in yourself is the first secret to success. That's kind of like my overall thing. And again, how I started with getting rid of those fears, but I do believe in myself, and it's not like arrogant or cocky or anything to think that. And if you believe you can do this, you can. I wholeheartedly believe that. The power of positive thinking, it goes so far. So Wendy, those are really my key things for making it fun. I know it was short and sweet, but I mean, it's simple. This business is not complicated.
So true. We all do try to make it much more complicated, but at the end of the day, it's very simple. So I have a few questions for you. Really great job, of course. Thank you. When you first started, did you have a number of people that you were like, I'm reaching out to 50 people every day, I'm reaching out to 3 people every day? Like, what was your goal when you first started?
Okay, I started, and I should have said that. I started with my Christmas, I tell all my coaches this, my new coaches. I started with my Christmas card list. I had it in Excel. It was a great place of, here's all where all my friends, I don't have a big family, so families like my sisters who are on board. Here's a list of all my good friends. So it wasn't like it was like I talked to as many people as I could. It was, maybe 10 people a day, maybe 15 people a day. It was trying to get through that list as quickly as possible. And that happened, and that list was probably 150 people. And that happened probably in the first month. I just made sure I talked to every single person. I sent out an email when I first started, because I used to email. I don't know if people email. I don't know. Some people email, but I sent out an email in addition to making my announcement on Facebook. So I had people that were responding to my email. And then I also made sure I was calling and talking to every single one of my good friends, even if we hadn't, talked in a couple of weeks. Some of them I hadn't talked to in months. I was following up on that email. So if I didn't hear back from them, I followed up and said, hey, just, checking in, just wanted to see if you got my email. Let's chat, whatever. So Wendy, I just work I contact as many people as I can every day. It's not really, I don't set a number for myself. I just go as much as I can.
Yeah, I work in batches like that too, because some days I can rock it and other days I'm like, okay, I just need to follow up. Like I can't, just time wise, sometimes it doesn't always happen that way. And so what is your tracking system now? Are you working in Excel? I know we both love Excel, or do you?
Okay. I have notebooks, tons, and I think I'm on my third notebook since I started. I did start a new thing. I am just as of since I came back from the new leadership conference, I'm starting to send a lot of cold invites, and I'm just literally going down I downloaded my Facebook friends list, and I'm reaching out to all of my friends that I have a really, really big warm market, and I still have not reached out to, every single person that I've, known in high school or college. So I am sending them a message. I'm inviting them to my 21-day fixed group. This is something that I did not do. And I was feeling a little stagnant towards the end of the year. Still was hitting Success Club, like fine. I really wasn't having, but I wasn't feel like I was connecting with people, and I was having a really hard time connecting with people on my like page. And I really thought, because I really wasn't inviting, I was sending a message that was like just getting lost in space. So I wanted to make a change. So this is my big change. And so far, I haven't sold any challenge packs from it yet, but I'm still in the A's. I'm in like the high A's. So that's my goal, and that's what my team's doing too. We've just kind of made our theme for the month is Fearless February, and we're inviting like crazy, and some people are inviting like 10 to 15 people a day, and they're sending this message to people. So
what's the message you're sending?
It's like I've kind of got two versions, but it's just kind of getting around not just like a, hey girl, how are you? Because those messages don't work for me. If it's people that, I haven't talked to in years and years and years, it's like, they're not gonna, that's not gonna go anywhere. So it's just, a quick, like, how have you been? And I do a quick, how have you been? Your family's so cute, or, your kids are beautiful.
You stalk them for like 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, do something like that. But then I say, I know this is completely random and not sure if this interests you at all or not. No hard feelings if not. But I'm getting a group of ladies together who are all busy moms and want to feel good on the inside, get results, and support each other, all while on the same fitness journey. Okay, and then the next paragraph, I'm not going to read it all, but it says the group will all be doing the same workout, following a meal plan, drinking a nutritious superfood shake. And then it says, like I'll be coaching a free accountability group on Facebook where we communicate and encourage each other. I post daily recipes, tips, and support. This program has helped myself and so many women that I work with feel their best. It's a lifestyle change that will continue forever. And then I talk about how the groups are so much fun. Everyone sees great results.
So basically like a call to action post, but in a message.
Literally, yes.
Yes, okay.
I mean, I can give it to you exactly, but yeah, I mean, it's everything. Or if, you know, when somebody wants like more info, I mean, it's kind of leading. I mean, it's like they say, don't do this, don't do that, or do this, don't do, you know, whatever. You have to play around with it. If something's not working, you've got to make a change. And that's kind of the point where I am at. And I want my business to obviously soar, and continue on this growth pattern. So I've got to hit people that I haven't hit. So that's my plan of attack. So yeah.
This, you, because you feel like you have such a warm market with, you know, your college friends or the people you haven't spoke to, just through your regular Facebook page, you feel like that's how you're growing your market instead of through your like page at this point.
Well, now, right now, that's how my focus is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, I'm just getting back to my warm market because I have a lot of, that was one other thing I was going to tell you. My success in the beginning was definitely, I have a huge warm market. My high school and college friends all know me as the girl who worked out all the time. I ran a marathon, half marathons. I was a crazy runner in college. So, and Wendy, I know you were a college athlete, so you probably share a similar story with that. So I do feel like that helped me kind of have a one-up on just not anybody else, but just people knew me as somebody I think they could trust in, okay, well, she's been working out. If she's doing this must be a good program. I mean, that's just my theory.
Yeah, I think exactly. You can either have a background or you can have a transformation that's really inspiring to people. I think either one can kind of work both ways in your favor because like you said, you don't have some crazy transformation. Like
I have no transformation.
Right.
I have no before and after picture.
Right.
Literally.
So, I mean, you can show yourself when you're pregnant, but otherwise, like, that's the only real transformation you have because you've always been fit. So you can look at, you know, approaching it two different ways. Like you said, you can either be the expert or you can be someone who's had it actually work for them, have gotten the specific results that people are super inspired by also. Okay. What else was I going to ask you? Oh, the fear situation. I think this is big. I also approach it that way, but not everyone can come into it saying, well, I don't really care what you think of me, right? Like we have a lot of coaches who struggle with that, who struggle with what people think of them or maybe what their spouses are saying to them or their family. Like, what is your advice to coaches that don't always have that mindset right away? Like, how do you kind of work on that with them?
Well, I think I do, like you said, spouses being unsupport. My husband was super supportive at the beginning, so I was really lucky. I did, for my first year, though, I did work a lot. I gave up TV for a year. That was the other thing I was going to say, too. That might have led to, I gave up TV for the entire first year. And so we had some nights, you know, we definitely had a lot of times where I wasn't spending a lot of time with him, but he was super supportive. So he really would help me out, just in, you know, pumping me up if I ever needed to be pumped up. So if you can, you know, get your husband, I mean, definitely try to get your husband on board if you can. And you know, just if you're really passionate about it, I suggest you really share that with them, but that can be a struggle. I get that. Getting your fears out of the way, it's a hard one. I've given my girls that kind of get in the way of themselves. They do love that badass book. I didn't really love that book, but they think that speaks to them. So I try to, you know, give my coaches a book that might help them. And I pump my coaches, like I have a lot of coaches that get in their way, but they have these awesome transformation stories. And so every time I talk to them, I'm like, do you realize what you have here? What you have here is golden. Like you need to get this out more often. So I'm just constantly pumping my coaches up, you know, that kind of have that are a little bit scared of themselves or scared what people think. And I think for myself, for my team, I just try to, I kind of have that fearless attitude. So it's kind of helping them with that. I definitely feel like talking it through with someone is helpful. I feel like if you are a little bit nervous or hesitant, you kind of need someone to be like, hey, there's, let someone like talk you down out of it. And take their advice for sure. So I was so nervous. This is the thing too. I think a lot of us have had these situations. My college friends, some of them, have bought a challenge pack. Some of them are customers, but they never liked or commented on, anything on my page. I never got a lot of support from them. They'll tell me individually, but I was so nervous about that they were talking about me behind my back. They were actually the people that I was the most nervous about. People I didn't know, I really wasn't scared about. But once I just decided I'm not doing this for them, I'm doing this to help everyone else. I did not get in this business to help my college friends. I mean, of course, if they want my help, but so once I got over that, I really felt free, because that was probably the biggest thing that weighed on me the longest, was being worried about them talking behind my back. And, I was confident in what I was doing. So there was no reason to be worried about it.
I just did a post about it today, peace out. You know what I mean? If you're not part of want to being along for the ride of what we do, then don't worry about it until you start paying my bills for me. I really don't care what you think about what I'm doing, and really, like you said, it's changing that mindset to be like, this is me, this is who I am, and I'm just going to keep moving forward, and, love it or hate it kind of a thing. So yeah, I think that's always good, like a good reminder to not get in your own way, and to get to the point where you don't care anymore, because it's hard. It's really hard to do that. So,
one thing that Bonnie Ingalls said and you probably heard this at the New Leadership Conference, were gold mines handing out treasure maps. And that really spoke to me. And I had one of my coaches had this aha moment, and she said, I felt really salesy for a long time. But when I really thought about the fact that I kind of mentioned this earlier, that we're giving girls, self-confidence and teaching them how to be strong, and all the stuff that we're teaching them beyond just losing weight and, just the ways that we're helping them feel. If you've just got to think about, that's what you're giving people. Take the product. It's like, take the product out of it. Right. Attach the emotional connection to it. But then also, if they say no, detach your emotional connection to it, right away. I read that this morning. You've got to take the emotion. If somebody says no, you've got to take the emotion out of it. And I think that really helps too.
Oh, just today, my cousin signed up with me, and we're just basically, we were at different points of life. But 2 years ago when I started, she sent me a scathing email about how what I was doing was just trying to be salesy, and it was so rude, and on and on and on. And she hoped that I never messaged her or contacted her. It was so rude. And she just signed up today, 2 years later. So, that's the thing. You do have to take that emotion out. I just posted this, but my mom and brother think that I'm doing something illegal. My brother was like, there's no way, you will never sign me up as a coach or whatever you do, because that's illegal to take someone's social security number. Wait, what do you think I'm doing? Obviously, whatever. But you have to take that out. You have to laugh a little bit about people who have such a skewed view of what we do, and just say, okay, Megan, as I'm sure you've gotten to know her better, she's always like, haters can bring it, and I'll be driving my sweet car all over their lawn, doing wheelies, and they can just look out the window and wave, because then I'll be going on some tropical vacation somewhere.
Exactly.
That's why she's great. She always reminds me whenever I get caught up sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved that. That was the big takeaway that I read this morning was, you have to take the emotional response out of it. And we always hear that too.
Or use it to fuel you. Either remove it where it's not negatively, or allow it to fuel you to that next point.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we say no to people all the time. It's just like you hear all the time. We go out to eat, and somebody asks if we want dessert, we say no. and the waiter doesn't cry.
Right.
you know.
Such a good point. Okay, I know that you really love your beauty sleep, and I totally agree with that. So I have one more question. Like, what does your typical schedule look like as far as
Okay. Good idea. That's good. Okay. So, well, I wake up at 5 o'clock, and I go down. I started this new routine a couple months ago. I drink my Energize and I read 10 minutes. I set my phone, my alarm, my little timer on my phone for 10 minutes, and I read a book for 10 minutes. Wendy told me that forever. I was always complaining that I could never get my PD, and she was like, "You've got to read it in the morning," or and I was trying to read it in the bathroom, and I was trying to all sorts of things. And I finally I read The Miracle Morning, which a lot of you might have heard me talk about when I did the body burn call, but that's what got me on this. And I love it. And sometimes I want to read for 20 minutes, but I don't really have time. So I highly suggest, if you can't get your PD in, just do what you can, 5-10 minutes, whatever. It's been life-changing for me.
Yes.
Do that, then I work out for a while, and then I get my daughter on the bus at 7:30. So usually between like 7:30 and 8:30, I'm writing my post for the morning and checking into my groups. We're, posting our workouts. I always do my workout early, so I post my workouts. So I'm checking in my groups and all that. So my morning, I definitely do about like an hour in the morning, but it's more of like a check-in type thing and writing the post. And then I have every afternoon, I usually get back on around 12:30, checking back in on my groups, and then I work until 3 o'clock because I pick my daughter up from the bus at 3 o'clock. That's non-negotiable. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I never go, and now I'm going to try to be a little bit more flexible maybe on Fridays, but I never go anywhere. I don't leave my house between 1 and 3. So I don't go run errands. If I have to, I don't like it. I turn down a lot of times. I will turn down a lunch. If a friend invites me to lunch, I won't go to lunch. Or if they ask me to do something, I don't schedule play dates between 1 and 3. Those are my non-negotiable working hours. And then, in there, it's, the power hour, checking back in with groups, etc. And then at night, I always do my post around 8 o'clock. I'm usually doing that while I'm sitting in my son's room while he's falling asleep. I kind of like it because I'm in a dark room. And then I used to work at night, but I really needed. It was great to put in that time in my first year. I always heard this, and it was so true, that your first year, 6 months to a year, is going to be your hardest. I worked a ton. And now I feel like I backed off, and I'm enjoying my evenings. If I don't have a call, I definitely will check in with my groups, but I try to put my phone down because I'm just trying to create more balance for myself.
Perfect. Yeah, I agree. And you almost do have to have that curve in the beginning. Like, running up the escalator is what we talk about a lot, because once you keep running and running and running, eventually you get to that point where you can still move upwards, but you're not going to be falling down it anymore. So that's awesome. Yeah. Working hard, just working harder than anyone else, or at least working as hard as the best version of yourself would, if you really want it.
Exactly. I felt like in the first year too, some of it was just keeping up with the demand at night.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if somebody messages me after my working hours between 1 and 3, I typically don't message them back until the morning, because I always heard that from other coaches too. Like, I want to sit down. I don't want to send just a message from my phone. I like to sit down at my computer and send something, thought out and well written. So that's
perfect.
What
Awesome. Well, does anyone else have any questions for Ellen?
Yeah, happy to answer anything.
Will you stop your share just so that we can pop it open real quick? But otherwise,
let me see.
It's always so nice to be reminded of how simple this can be, but having the mindset that this is fun, like this is something you want, this is something you want to own, this is something you want to change your life. That's how it changes. Getting over that fear and deciding that this is awesome. So yes, thank you, Ellen. I'm going to do This prize today is a new Lululemon headband. I have a few colors, so whoever wins, I'll message you and you can pick which color you like. Okay, so I'm so happy to see your faces on here. Like Ellen also mentioned, your business will grow exponentially by showing up on team calls, by showing up at events, by getting on anything you possibly can, because the people you're surrounded by, that only elevates your level of not only your knowledge, but your positive mindset and other things that you are doing in your life. So, okay, let's see. The winner today, I always close my eyes and pick one, is Brianne Vogteveen. Woot woot, new headband for you, girl. So, I'll message you and maybe I'll even see you and I can hand it to you instead of spending $5 to send it to you. Alrighty.
Take a picture of it, Wendy. That'll be a good picture opportunity for your thing you gotta send in.
Oh gosh, yeah. I don't know what to do. Like they don't want a bunch of Zoom call pictures. I don't know. Maybe that video I could take some snippet of what they shared at the new leader conference when I found out I was elite.
Yeah.
I don't know. Remember I was on the street. I don't know what they want. Like I have no idea. They're putting this montage together of certain, I think it's organization leaders is what they said, who are also elite. And now I have to do like a 5-second video and then send in different photos of showing my leadership. And they're going to be on the screen at Summit. I have no idea. So I'm maybe it's when I'm walking across stage, I'll have some random video playing. That's even more, I don't know. We'll see. I get so embarrassed and anxious about things like this. So, okay. We can stage some, oh yeah, great. It's Sarah's gender reveal party. We'll pretend like I'm a great leader. Fun. All right. Okay. Well, thanks again. If anyone has any questions for me, I can stay on. Otherwise, thank you so much, Ellen. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on your call.
Okay. Well, we'll have another call next week. Oh, and not to make this crazy, but the girl who we have talking next week, Carolyn Nathan, she was the top recruiter in all of Beachbody for the month of January. She had the last I checked in with her, she had over 41 coaches and she still had a few days left. 41 personally sponsored coaches she signed up in January. So she'll be talking next week with us about really her approach, how she's getting these crazy, insane numbers. And she's a really super positive and happy person if you want to check out her page. Like she's just, you'll see. So maybe check out her page, stalk who's going to be talking next week. And yeah, we'll go from there. But awesome. Okay, girls, I think maybe a couple guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night.